Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I have a hypothetical scenario. Please listen until the end. Why are so many people on this planet obsessed with skin color? Why specifically is there such deep hostility toward black people across cultures, nations, and even religions? To understand this behavior, I have to ask an uncomfortable question, especially to non-black people, and more specifically to Christian nationalists and other religious believers. Let's speak hypothetically. What if God asked humanity to do one simple thing in order to save the planet from destruction? What if God sent an angel or a prophet with this message? To be spared, you must believe and acknowledge that the Messiah was a black man. That's it. No wars, no sacrifices, no money. Just belief, just acceptance. Now pause and really think about that. The fate of humanity is in your hands. Would you do it? Would non-black people across the world accept that truth without resistance? Based on history, culture, religion, and the climate we live in today, I came to 3 possible answers, and I know the last one may shock some of you. The first group would obey without hesitation. Despite centuries of racism, propaganda, and false imagery, these people would humble themselves and accept God's truth fully. This group exists, but it's small. The second group would believe, but with doubt in their hearts. They would say the words, but internally struggle to accept a black Messiah because of what they've been taught their entire lives. This group is larger than the first, but still limited. The third group, the largest group, would rather see the earth destroyed than accept that the Messiah was black. And I know that sounds extreme, but history supports it. For centuries, blackness has been associated with evil, darkness, and sin. Meanwhile, holiness, purity, and divinity have been painted white. Even the devil and the Antichrist are often depicted as dark or black figures. But what if that itself is deception? What if reversing the image, making evil black and holiness white, was part of a long psychological and spiritual conditioning? A way to prepare people to reject the truth if it ever appeared in a form they were taught to despise. According to the Bible, the Antichrist is not black. So why has darkness always been symbolized that way? Could it be misdirection? Jesus said, "Whoever accepts you accepts me, and whoever accepts me accepts the one who sent me. And also, whoever acknowledges me before others, I will acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven." The key word here is acceptance, not comfort, not familiarity, not what fits your worldview, acceptance. So the real question isn't about skin color, it's about pride, conditioning, and who we are willing to recognize as divine. If truth challenges what you were taught, do you reject the truth, or do you reject what you were taught? To add more to this topic, let's talk about conditioning. Racism isn't natural. No baby is born hating skin color. Hatred has to be taught, reinforced, and protected. So the question becomes, who benefits from that conditioning? Historically, when Christianity spread through Europe and later through colonization, the image of Christ changed. Jesus, born in the Middle East, raised in North Africa for a time, living under the sun, was slowly transformed into a pale European figure with straight hair and light eyes. That wasn't accidental. That was political theology. Because once God looks like you, you stop questioning yourself. And once God doesn't look like others, it becomes easier to dominate them. Blackness has never just been about skin. It's been about authority. If the Messiah is black, then blackness carries divine legitimacy. And that terrifies systems built on hierarchy. That's why black prophets, black leaders, and black truth-tellers are always framed as dangerous, aggressive, or ungodly. Not because they are, but because they disrupt the lie. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people don't actually worship God. They worship the version of God that protects their status. So when truth threatens identity, belief collapses. That's why my hypothetical question matters so much, because it removes politics, culture, nationality, and leaves only obedience versus ego. If believing the Messiah was black cost you nothing but pride, and you still refuse, what does that say about your faith? Would you really choose destruction over humility? History says yes. Slavery, colonization, genocide, entire civilizations destroyed rather than accepting black humanity. So why would the end times be any different? The Bible warns of deception so powerful that even the faithful could be misled. So what if the greatest deception wasn't about who the Antichrist is, but about who Christ is not allowed to be? What if teaching the world to reject blackness was preparation? Preparation to deny Christ if he appeared outside of white comfort. Because if you are trained to see blackness as evil, then a black Messiah would automatically be rejected. Not because of scripture, but because of conditioning. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. Let me be clear. This is not about hating white people or non-black races. This is about honesty. A mirror doesn't insult you, it just shows you what's there. And if the reflection makes you uncomfortable, the problem isn't the mirror. So I leave you with this. If God's truth challenged everything you were taught, your art, your churches, your movies, your heroes, would you still accept it? Or would you call it blasphemy just because it came in black skin? That's the real test of faith. Acceptance is the key. Follow me for more.